coming up on the September 10th edition of Carolina Week.
Her book caused quite a stir on campus, and later this month, she'll visit Carolina to talk about why.
It's been 2 years since the 9/11 attacks. We'll tell you what members of the Carolina community remember about that day.
And we'll tell you what kids are buying over the internet, even though they're too young to buy them over the counter.
All that and much more.
Carolina Week starts now.
From the School of Journalism and Mass Communication at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, this is Carolina Week.
Good evening, I'm Courtney Robinson.
And I'm Andrea McAfee. Thanks for joining us for the September 10th edition of Carolina Week.
Last week we reported that budget cuts are affecting student course options, and the damage doesn't stop there. For 4 years, state appropriated funds to Carolina have steadily decreased, causing administrators to drop programs and eliminate raises. In the academic year 2000-2001, Carolina suffered a $7.4 million hit. The next year, 2001-2002, the loss was $39.4 million. Last year, the Budget Acts chopped $22.9 million from Carolina's budget. And the projection for the current year is $21.9 million or more. Professor of Religious Studies, Peter Kaufman, says the legislature is enhancing other state schools to the detriment of Carolina.
Becoming mediocre when you were among the best. That's sad. It's really sad. Find a way to enable the other campuses in their categories to be remarkable without willing away and depriving the gem you've got.
Some university employees plan to talk money with someone freshman students all know about, Barbara Ehrenreich. She's the author of Nickel and Dime, the summer reading book about low-wage workers that caused a lot of controversy on campus. Ehrenreich turned down an invitation from university officials to visit, but said yes to grounds workers and housekeepers. She plans to hold a teach-in on campus September 23rd.
A new computer virus is causing more problems for students and administrators at Carolina. Students lined up at the IT Response Center Tuesday, many hoping for a quick fix to their internet problems. The internet was down for most of the day, making it impossible to check email, do research, or even retrieve student records. Associate Director of the IT Response Center, Bruce Egan, says students can help curb viruses with a simple program that comes with most computers.
It basically does boil down to protecting yourself in terms of making sure you've got virus protection on your computer so that you've got antivirus so you don't have any problems and you can't infect somebody else.
Second virus to hit Carolina in less than a month. Egan says a third virus caused by a weak spot in Microsoft Office could affect campus also.
Parking on campus is a major headache, and now it's getting a little more expensive. Swain Lot and Moorhead Planetarium Lot are extending their hours and charging parking fees. During the week, you'll have to pay parking fees until midnight, and on the weekends, you'll have to pay until 2 a.m. University transportation officials say they've made the changes because many people who have no affiliation with the university have been using the lots. But senior Letitia Winstead said it's tough for band members and music majors who park in Hill Hall at night.
It has been a hassle so far because some band members have late night rehearsals, such as I, and others have to come here and practice for performances, and it just hasn't been of the greatest convenience so far.
Anyone with a UNC One card can pay 75 cents an hour to park in the lots. It's $1 for everywhere else. Lots of former Tar Heels will be looking for parking spaces on campus soon. The time is nearing for UNC Chapel Hill alumni to make their annual trek back to Chapel Hill for homecoming week. Of course, homecoming is more than just a football game. On Wednesday, October 15th, big-name band Virginia Coalition will take the stage for a students-only concert at the Watts Alumni Center. Both students and alumni can come out that Saturday for a concert by the Emma Gibbs Band. Tickets for both shows will go on sale soon.
And on a much more somber note, 2 years ago, the country witnessed a monumental tragedy.
On September 11th, 2001, terrorists hijacked planes and crashed them into the World Trade Center and the Pentagon. A fourth plane crashed in a field in Pennsylvania.
Carolina students gathered together that day in grief and sadness, but also with strengthened resolve.
2 years later, students share with Carolina Week some of their thoughts about that day and their hopes for the future.
Today is obviously one of the most difficult days in the history of the city and the country.
I was getting ready to go to class, and then all of a sudden I had a friend like, a plane crash, and I was like, what are you talking about? And they said, yeah, I crashed in the World Trade Center, and the faces on everyone, just dropped. No one could believe it. Why us? I remember my parents telling me they can remember when the Challenger exploded and, when the president was shot, something you remember. Well, that's something I'm always going to remember where I was when it happened.
It was really quiet, actually, and then the conversations that you could hear, everyone was talking about the same thing, about what was going on, who was to blame, what the government should do. And then every time you would go into a class, the teachers, that's what they would talk about. Most of my classes actually got out. The teacher just said we could just leave and go call our parents.
I live in New Jersey, so we were very close to what happened. I felt so frightened for the people that didn't know where their loved ones were until much later, because people were missing. There were people that were never recovered. And that feeling went on for a long time as my friends whose dads maybe worked for the firefighting companies or the police departments went through the rubble and looked for people and came back and told us the things that they saw. And it was just so surreal and so frightening.
2 weeks before it happened, I was there. It's unbelievable, unbelievable. Never could I imagine in my wildest dreams that I'd look at a city skyline and not see the Twin Towers there.
I think that we learned that you always have this element of being helpless to an extent, because, out of all the countries it would happen to, no one would think that we'd be susceptible to something like that, but no one can tell what's going to happen, and you just need to, at a time like that, you need to go off and tie up any loose ends, tell the people that you haven't talked to, any grudges you held, tell them that you love them, that you care about them, and, not harbor any resentment. You need to go out and live every day like it's the last. You never know what can happen tomorrow.
The deliberate and deadly attacks which were carried out yesterday against our country were more than acts of terror. They were acts of war. This will require our country to unite.
Carolina's Campus Y will have Remembrance Day events on Thursday. Students, faculty, and staff are invited to sign a banner in the pit between 10 and 2. Afterward, organizers will send the banner to Washington. There will also be a candlelight visual on the steps of the South Building at 7 p.m. Everyone is invited to attend.
Have you been wondering why a large dog was greeting students as they walked by the pit on Wednesday? This isn't just any dog. It's the American Red Cross Club's Bloodhound, inviting students to participate in the club's September 11th Memorial Blood Drive. Students came to the Student Union where they signed in, gave confidential medical information, and began donating a pint of blood. The Red Cross holds several blood drives throughout the semester, but donor Craig Burnham says this drive has special meaning because of 9/11.
I think it's a good time to get everybody together and just give blood. Everybody's feeling very generous right now, so we'll see what the turnout's like.
There's another blood drive Thursday from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. in the Student Union.
That can be a dangerous place for children, and results of a study at UNC Chapel Hill show there's a new danger parents might not be aware of. These packs of cigarettes were all bought online by children as young as 11 years old. Dr. Kurt Ribasol and other researchers tested how easy it is for minors to buy cigarettes from companies on the internet. More than 90% of the time, teenagers could buy cigarettes without an ID, and usually the teens didn't even need to show ID when the cigarettes were delivered. One 14-year-old girl who bought cigarettes for the study says she had a hands-on experience.
There was one that I answered the door for. It was, I think, the delivery person just handed it to me, and I signed for it with, we used an alias, and I signed with an alias, and it was never there was no suspicion or anything.
Cigarette smoking is the nation's leading cause of sickness and premature death. The same researchers plan other studies about internet cigarette sales.
Coming up, if you take the bus to campus, it might sound a little different next time.
We'll tell you what you can expect to hear next.
Each year, thousands are senselessly killed by people with no criminal record at all. People like you.
Daddy, why is the sky blue?
Well, to match your pretty eyes.
Nope, not even close. See, all colors have wavelengths that are diffused by oxygen and nitrogen. Since blue is the shortest wavelength, it's diffused up to 10 times more.
Who taught you that?
Mommy?
By age 12, too many girls lose interest in math and science and their chance at future jobs. Keep her interest alive.
Know why mathematics is the basis of life as we know it?
You tell me.
It's her future. Do the math.
And last week we told you they were going up. Now, red light cameras are clicking away in Chapel Hill. The cost is staggering. It will take a lot of fines to pay for all 10 cameras being installed in town. However, city officials say it's a good investment. They say red light cameras can be used at several locations once the cities are equipped to work with the cameras. This will let them move cameras from intersection to intersection without drivers knowing which ones are active at any given time. And officials say preventing crashes and freeing up police officers will save money that can go toward paying for the cameras.
A November vote could change the look of Chapel Hill for the better and help pay for those cameras. Town voters will decide whether or not to pass a $29 million bond that will be on the ballot. The bond would fund improvements to facilities like the public library and sidewalks and walking trails. Town officials say taxes would be likely to go up to the foot of the bill. After months of controversy, the Animal Protection Society of Orange County is renewing its contract with the company hired to run the Chapel Hill Animal Shelter. The Orange County Board of Commissioners heard complaints all summer about APS, the management company that operates the shelter. Commissioners sent investigators in to take a look at the shelter, and they found hundreds of needed changes. But the board voted to give APS another chance to do it right. The executive director says the staff is making improvements. Managers plan to relocate the shelter in 2006 to make way for the expansion of Carolina's North Campus.
Lots of changes to sorority bid day on campus this year. In the past, women started on campus, were given their bids, and from there ran to their sorority houses. Last year, there were reports of women having eggs and water thrown at them. This year, potential new members gathered in the quad to wait for those precious envelopes. Sisters from every house came with gifts and balloons to cheer them on. Though now members didn't run on Franklin Street. Panhellenic Vice President Emily Cook says that didn't stop them from showing their excitement.
Bid Day this year was about bringing all the groups together and staying on campus so that we could celebrate the day in a sense of unity. Although each woman is going home to her separate house, celebrating something that we all share in common.
New members will now begin a 10-week sorority education period before they're initiated.
If you take the bus, you won't have to worry about missing your stop anymore. That's because Chapel Hill Transit buses now talk to passengers. Chapel Hill Transit buses are being equipped with automatic voice announcement systems. The AVS system informs passengers of the next stop on the route. Right now, 30 out of the 83 buses in the transit system are equipped with the device. Transit officials say the 53 remaining buses will also be equipped with AVS, depending on the funding.
The first large concert on 20 years rocks Kenan Stadium Sunday. The Boss will be in town. Tickets are still available for Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band 7:30 p.m. show. Springsteen played 2 sold-out shows at Fenway Park in Boston last weekend. They were the first major concerts ever held at the historic ballpark. You can purchase tickets for student shows at the Smith Center box office or Ticketmaster. Well, Kelly, it sure seems like that weather was really nice this past weekend.
Yeah, it's been in and out. We've had a bit of some tropical storm remnants kind of ushering in some clouds and then bringing them back out. We've got a lot to talk about in the way of the tropics. We'll get to that in just a second. But first I want to go to this week's weather question, which is, what percentage of tropical disturbances become tropical storms? Is it 10%, 25%, 30%, or 80%? We'll have the answer to that weather question and this week's forecast when Carolina Week returns.
I'm not stupid. I'm not lazy. I'm not distracted. I'm not slow. I'm not dumb.
Millions of kids have learning difficulties and are struggling in school. Without help, they could suffer the rest of their lives. If your child is struggling, visit focusonlearning.org. Do it for your child, do it for yourself, but do it now.
I'm not dumb. I'm smart.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll put that out.
Hi, and welcome back to Carolina Week. While the remnants of Tropical Storm Henri continue to impact the weather here in North Carolina, taking a look around campus, it certainly is providing us with some brisk winds and mostly cloudy skies. While that certainly makes for a little bit of a gloomy look around campus, the clouds are keeping temperatures down and really giving us a relief from those hot and humid conditions we've seen over the last couple of weeks. Well, it's the second week of September, and that means it's the climatological peak of hurricane season, and we've got a big one to talk about. Hurricane Isabel is a Category 4 storm with winds at 135 miles per hour and a very low central pressure of just 948 millibars. And currently, you can see the National Hurricane Center does have it on a westward track. Now, if you look out to day 5, that's this coming Sunday, we still are not posing, the storm is still not posing an immediate threat to the U.S. mainland. But come Saturday and Sunday, we're really going to want to turn our eyes to the storm, as given the appropriate upper level conditions, this could very easily make its way up to the Carolina coast. So we'll really want to start watching that. Now, it won't be impacting our weekend forecast, but let's take a look at some stuff that will. Taking a look at the satellite map, we see a system really starting to get organized out in the Midwest. It's really starting to come together while high pressure is building in over the southeast. Now, this high pressure is kind of warring with the remnants of Henri, so they're kind of coming together, and a lot of moisture coming from the east and a lot of dry weather coming from the west. The good news is it'll all clear out, and if we take a look at the forecast map, we see something setting up like this. We're going to keep a boundary way out right off the mid-Atlantic coast in the Atlantic Ocean, and it's going to continue to try and pump some moisture inland. But as this high pressure continues to build in the southeast, as we head into Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, we're really going to be on a clearing trend. And this front that's coming out of the Midwest really doesn't stand a chance against the high pressure it's going to encounter across the southeast. Taking a look at the Carolina Week 4-day forecast, we see it shapes up something like this. Friday and Saturday, we can expect partly cloudy skies. Highs will start to get real comfortable again, right around 80 degrees on Friday. A little bit of a warming trend as we head through the weekend, a warming trend and a clearing trend, as Sunday and Monday should be beautiful. Monday afternoon, we start to get into a little bit more unsettled weather as the front tries to push through the area. But let's concentrate on the good stuff. This weekend looks fantastic. Mostly sunny skies, temperatures in the low to mid 80s. If you're thinking about heading down to the beach and checking out some of the waves that Henri is stirring up, Saturday looks gorgeous, a high of about 85 degrees. Sunday, you could see a chance of a scattered shower, but it won't be a washout. Partly cloudy skies will prevail over most of the day. Lows will be very moderate in the mid-60s. If you're thinking about heading out west to the mountains, things will be gorgeous out there on Saturday, mostly sunny skies, very comfortable high temperature of about 78 degrees. Sunday, we see a chance of a scattered shower, but all in all, it's really not bad. From coast to coast, the weekend looks really nice across the state. The only threat to you enjoying the weather would be your fall allergies, really a problem for a lot of North Carolinians. Trees are in the low range, molds and grasses both moderate, but weeds unfortunately are in the high range. Ragweed really tends to pick up at this time of the year. It has a lot of people suffering. But the weather should be fantastic. But getting back to the weather questions, anyone want to take a guess at what percent of tropical disturbances ever become storms?
I'm going to say A.
It is A. It's 10%. If you look at the screen, that answer will spin cyclonically. And yes, very few tropical disturbances ever become tropical storms. So it's a rare combination of ingredients that you need. And we've certainly got one out there to watch for right now.
Well, that seems great. I know that the weather was really nice on Saturday for the football game.
Yeah. How about that Tar Heel athletics?
Well, guys, I got one question for you. Are you ready for some football? The men's soccer team is ready, but Bunting's squad is still regrouping from its 0-2 start. We'll see what the fans have to say. More when Carolina Week Sports returns.
Are your kids getting enough art? Where's the music? I don't hear any. Arts programs are being cut, making it hard for my kids and yours. Arts education is important, so it goes. Fight for it, because the less arts kids get, the more it shows. Rapping, painting, or creating music, arts education is key. How's that, Mom?
Remember what I told you, Chuck. Less bebop and more hip-hop.
Art. Ask for more. AmericansForTheArts.org.
Awaken your creativity. Do your thing at the Art School at the Art Center in Carborough.
Welcome back to Carolina Week Sports. Following a blowout at the hands of Florida State and the nail-biting loss to Syracuse on Saturday, Tar Heel fans have mixed feelings about the state of Carolina football.
It's in shambles. I'm really ashamed of it because they're not progressing anywhere. We're now, 0-8 for winning a home game in like the last 2 years. It's pathetic.
I don't know, man. It's pretty dismal at this point. I've been burned many times.
Against the Orangemen, the Tar Heels showed they can put points on the board. But allowing 86 points in 2 games isn't going to win football games. The Heels must improve on both sides of the ball if they want to win.
We come to play, we're a good team.
You got to move on. You can't look back. You got to, after it's over, you just got to let it go. Prepare for the next week.
The Heels need to prepare fast because up next is 14th ranked Big Ten powerhouse Wisconsin at Madison a week from Saturday. The men's soccer team has exploded onto the scene this year, unbeaten in its first 4 matches. A key character in the team's success is junior forward Marcus. I'm so good, you better put me in your story. Well, Marcus, here's Wes Wilson with your story.
2 years ago, the men's soccer team won its first national championship. This year, after already knocking off 2 top 10 teams, St. John's and Connecticut, the Tar Heels are back in the title hunt once again. Led by junior forward Marcus Story, the undefeated Heels have crept to number 5 in Soccer America's rankings. Story is the team's top returning scorer from a year ago and the 2001 ACC Rookie of the Year. He already has 1 championship ring and says he knows what made that 2001 Tar Heel team so special.
Well, really something that I noticed about my freshman year, how we won the national championship, is just the camaraderie of the team.
Well, if camaraderie is the key, nothing breeds camaraderie like leadership. And as coach Elmer Bolovich explains, Story's work ethic, and his feet, mind you, set excellent examples for a very young Tar Heel team.
He leads by example on the field. His work ethic has improved. His impact has improved in terms of now guys looking for him to make things happen. And, we hope we can keep that up.
As far as youth goes, teams don't get much younger than this Tar Heel squad. 14 of Dolovich's 25 players are freshmen. Don't let the numbers fool you. 10 of these 14 freshmen were taken off of 1 team, Raleigh's very successful CASL elite club team. So, while they may be young, they already have chemistry, and hopefully by the end of the season, camaraderie. I'm Wes Wilson, Carolina Week Sports.
Marcus Story and the rest of the Heels will play their first home game of the season this Friday night at 7:30 against Michigan in the Nike Carolina Classic at Fetzer Field. The UNC field hockey team is ranked second in the first national coaches poll of the 2003 season. 4 ACC teams, all undefeated mind you, are ranked in the top 5. Carolina is 4-0 and has given up just 2 goals in 4 games. UNC's next game is Wednesday evening when the Tar Heels play at Davidson. The season's first home game is Sunday when James Madison visits Henry Stadium for a 1 p.m. game. Well, guys, that's it for sports. And honestly, watch out for Marcus Story. That guy is amazing.
We can tell. Yeah. Very nice, impressive. And coming up, dorm life getting lost on campus. Everyone remembers what it's like to be a freshman.
We'll check in with a few new students to see how they're faring so far when Carolina Week continues.
Following the tragic events of September 11th, there have been hundreds of violent attacks against innocent Americans.
Remember what that flag you're waving stands for.
Remember, please stop the hate.
We're stronger when we are united.
Remember what that flag you're waving stands for.
One nation under God.
Indivisible.
With liberty
and justice
for all.
In America, there's either room for everyone, or it's not America.
Don't pick the wrong fight.
Let's keep America land of the free.
Stop the hate.
If you have a story idea, contact Carolina Week at 843-8292. You can also visit us online at carolinaweek.org. If you have questions about this program, write Carolina Week at Campus Box 3365, UNCCH, Chapel Hill, North Carolina, 27599.
We've known it all along, but some people are just realizing what a great college town Chapel Hill is. A Massachusetts consulting company, Collegia, searched the country recently for the best places to go to school. What did the company find? Chapel Hill comes in second, just after Boston, in terms of quality of life and local resources for students. Boulder, Colorado came in third. A big university like Carolina can be intimidating for new students.
Yes, it can, but Carolina Week video journalist Chris Knapp found that most of our newbies seem to be adjusting.
I'm a freshman.
Freshman.
I'm a freshman.
Freshman.
A freshman.
I chose Carolina because it was a little bit more liberal than Duke, and state was too technical for me.
Carolina's reputation
for being a great school. It has lots of tradition.
It had the programs that I'm interested to study. I visited a couple other colleges also, and this was the one that just inside just clicked. My first impression of Carolina.
Oh, I liked it a lot. It's enormous. It's definitely a lot of variety of people, lots of outgoing people.
I just thought I'd fit in well.
The location was good. It wasn't too far from home, but just far enough.
I also visited Duke when I came down here, and I made the remark that Duke seemed like it was made to look nice. Carolina just is nice.
There's lots of stuff to do. There's always things going on.
There's a club for everything.
I'm probably going to join the Fever Club and go as many events as I can.
One of my friends is in the disc golf club, and that sounds kind of fun, so I may try something like that.
So I'm really interested in student council, Sangam, and General Alumni Association.
There's plenty of places, plenty of time to get your work done, and also plenty of time to go out and have fun.
My experience so far in being an underclassman and coming here has been that everybody's been very friendly.
I mean, I've made a ton of upperclassmen friends already through the sports teams I'm on.
Everybody's been really helpful. No one's been mean. They've told me where to go, and I've been lost like 50 times.
Yeah, whenever you ask questions to people, they're glad to help you out. So I haven't run into any problems or anything. It's been a pretty friendly environment. This year, I want to
make some good friends, join some clubs, get involved in things I'm passionate about, and have a good year, make good grades. Learn new things, have new experiences. I do other extracurricular activities such as like intramural sports, but overall just have fun and enjoy the next 4 years in college.
They look like they're doing just fine, adjusting to Carolina pretty well, not gaining that dreaded freshman 15.
And I sure remember when I was still carrying around a map even midway through the freshman year.
Well, it looks like we have grown up quite well.
That's all the time we have for tonight. Thanks for watching.